Hi, brothers and sisters. I'm reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 7, the verses 10 and 11. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband, but, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife. Malachi chapter 2, the first part of the verse 16. For the Lord, the God of Israel, said that he hated putting away. A few days ago, I received a dream from our Lord. But before to tell you this dream, I'm going to tell you a 12 years old story on the same subject. The story is long, so I'll tell you only the essentials. One of my relatives decided to divorce. The reason: when she got married, her parents-in-law suggested that they open a family business together. She agreed, her mother investing a certain amount of money. The whole business was registered in the name of the parents-in-law because the newlyweds were too young, and anyway the money belonged to the parents. But a few years later, my relative requested that the share invested by her mother be transferred, registered to her name, to which the parents-in-law refused for the fear of divorce. Although she received honestly her due percentage of the invested amount. And in addition, the parents-in-law bought them an apartment. My relative started consulting the lawyers, but in the end, nothing was resolved. It was too complicated. Then she got very angry and she said to me, I'll divorce him. I answered her, God doesn't allow this kind of divorce for this reason. If it was the case of adultery or the case of marital violence, which leads to even the murder, then the case should be brought before the pastor or before the priest, according to the confession we belong. And only after their investigation should a decision be made. But in your case, this is not a justified divorce. And even if you divorce, you should stay alone or reconcile with your husband. The Lord will not give you this divorce. To which she replied, it's okay. I will bring to God a box of chocolates, a bottle of champagne, and some money in an envelope, and then he will give me this divorce. I answered her, God is not corrupt. He doesn't accept bribes. So this was our conversation. A few days later, her mother told me that her daughter had a dream, a nightmare dream, and she shared this dream with her mother because she was very scared. Not told me, she shared it with her mother. In the dream, she saw her own funeral. People came dressed in black. Everything was ready, and the flowers and the casket was in the center of the funeral hall, with the lid open, waiting for my relative to enter and lie down. This was her dream. Although she was warned by God, she divorced and remarried another man, a very good man, but not hers. So she is living today in adultery, and she pushed her husband into adultery too. The man who really loved her a lot and tried to maintain this marriage very hard. Very sad story. Now I'm going to tell you the recent dream which I received from our Lord. In the dream, I left my husband for another man. I took the kids, and my husband helped me carry our bags to my new friend's house. After my husband left, I started to tour the house and then unpack our stuff. Suddenly, God began to speak to me through these questions. What day is it today? I answered, Sunday. God, what day is it tomorrow? I answer, Monday. God, and what happens on Monday? I answer, my husband goes to work. As you know, my husband is a truck driver and he leaves on Monday for 5 days trip. God continued, and who will do his groceries? I answered, nobody. And who will wash his bed sheets and his clothes? I answered, nobody. And who will iron his clothes? I answered, nobody. And who will prepare homemade food for 5 days? And he begins to describe my menu in a list. The yogurts, the fruit salads, vegetable salads, the sandwiches, the hot soups, the second hot meals. I answered, nobody. Because the truck drivers don't move too much physically, I always think about making the meals rich in vitamins, minerals, proteins, and at the same time to not be too fatty and constipating. God continued, and who'll make his appointments for the doctor, the dentist, the bank, the garage? I answered, nobody. And then in the end, God told me this phrase, this conclusion. If you will not do these things for your husband, then no one will do them for him. I started to cry and feel sorry for my husband, and I said to our daughter, call your father and tell him to come and take us home. I cannot leave him like this. If I will not take care of your father, then no one will take care of him. And the dream was over. Then I woke up. The Lord wants to awake our compassion towards our life partner without forgetting our dedication. Just as the Good Samaritan helped his neighbor, our God described all his help in details. The details very valuable and appreciated by him. So no good deed is waste. I'm going to read one verse. This verse maybe doesn't apply to all the families, and yet to some, yes, and they will understand this verse. Isaiah chapter 35, the verse 3. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. And the Lord will help us. Thank you very much for watching and listening the dreams from our Lord. God bless you.